I'm taking over, that's a promise, not a threat.
Uppercut season off top, you stop breathing.
And I see from our comments, everyone is, really wants to talk about the Crawford card. And so let's get into that. I know boxing has been very kind of quiet with the super fights and everything like that, but by far this is good. This is the biggest fight of the year, like for better or for worse. And I know usually Shuttleworth will be on here, but Shuttleworth has a little bit of an emergency. He may come on a little later, because if you saw his tweet, if you follow his Twitter, he really wanted to shit on this card and in this fight. Yeah, no, if obviously you've heard our various episodes on this where we talk about this, he's not a big fan of this fight at all. I'm indifferent to this fight. I'm indifferent to it. It's not, and largely it's because we get bullshit like the Jake Paul fights and shit like that, or we fights that bullshit that's kind of get pushed more than any other legitimate boxing fight. And yes, I say legitimate fight because them Jake Paul fights ain't on the level, and I stand by that bullshit. You know what I mean? But no. So Pilot, how first of all, what's your overall feeling about the Crawford fight? Pilot.
I hated it. I mean, I initially did hate it because I did hear Crawford say he didn't really even want to do it. A couple of years ago after he was doing his Shutter hates, that whole his victory lap, right? And the Joe Rogan all the podcasts, just celebrating his victory, But ultimately, damn touchdown. Okay. Ultimately, though, I know Bud knows about the money, so he ended up taking it. So I'm with it. I mean, as you know, I'm a Bud fan. I know you rock with Crawford too, so I'm indifferent with it. I mean, would rather see different fights, yes, but I'm not going to complain about it because it's still a pretty big fight, and it is two of the top, 4 or 5 pound for pound fighters of the past decade and change. So I ain't complaining.
Absolutely, Ron. What about you? What's your feeling about Crawford and Canelo?
Yeah, I think Canelo's gonna beat his ass, nigga. You jumping up in weight, you're gonna get your ass beat. You can't fight with the big dogs. Like, the nigga's supposed to be 40 pounds less? Like, come on now.
No, but even before that, just your overall feel. The fight itself, regardless of result or anything like that. Are you indifferent about this fight? Did you like the fight, hate the fight when it was announced?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It don't make sense to fight a nigga, smaller than you like that. To make a nigga jump up to try to fight you. Like, I feel like this is a cash grab, and this is another Jake Paul scheme to get money and have all eyes on you real quick. Both these niggas are about to retire after this. Watch.
Probably not Canelo, but I think Bud retires either way.
Yes, and I definitely get the cash grab feeling because we all know the Crawford's history. Like, Top Rank for the most part openly admitted that they lost money on Crawford during his tenure at Top Rank, and Crawford got paid. Yeah, certainly he got paid. Like, he wasn't underpaid, but he wasn't paid, like, say, on the level of some of the other pound for pound fighters out there. Of course, that changed with the Spence fight. Spence fight, I think he got like 20-25 million, and then after that, he linked with Turkey because Turkey happens to be a big fan of his, and pretty much, he's been stacking. Turkey's pretty much been taking care of him more than any other promoter that obviously in his history like that. And you can tell Crawford is content. And since the Spence fight, he's only fought once, which is the Madrimov fight, which was last August. Crawford won, but he was not as dominant as he had been over the last.
He had 11 straight. He was an 11 straight knockout. Like, he went to welterweight, 100% KO ratio, 11 straight knockouts, maybe 12 straight knockouts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and unified all 4 belts, and then he goes to Madrimov. And luckily, I'm high on Madrimov, so it's not like it's not a bad thing he struggled with Madrimov. but you know, he had to kind of, you know, he had to rally in the last couple of rounds in order not to lose.
He had to dig deep in the championship rounds for sure.
Yeah. And then Madrimov was, of course, herky-jerky type of style of fighting, and on top of the fact that Madrimov was able to land punches on Crawford that most people don't necessarily land. You know, Crawford got touched up a little bit. He didn't look good. But unfortunately, since that fight, Crawford has not been in the ring. He's been inactive. And then we have Canelo, who hasn't gotten a knockout since 2021 when he knocked out Caleb Plant, and has been going the distance with some horrible competition. Like no, Charlo is one thing. Jamal Charlo is not horrible competition. It was just I think he was just super motivated for that one because everyone was writing him off because he had the poor Triple G fight. He looked really poor in that one, and then the John Ryder fight went the distance, which it probably shouldn't have.
That was crazy. The Ryder fight was crazy. I mean, I know he dropped Ryder twice, maybe have retired Ryder, but it's fucking John Ryder. I'm sorry, I'm just saying. Like,
yeah, and Ryder, I remember because I just read an article this past week on Ryder talking about after that. Ryder says after that fight, like he was finished.
I saw that. Yeah, I didn't read it, but I didn't see that headline. I saw that article.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Charles, and then fun things too, because I mean, I was rooting for Mel to win, because pretty much it had Mel beaten Canelo, he would have been a double undisputed champion at the same time. He would arguably be the number one fighter in the sport. That like the history was there, and he put on, you know, and unfortunately Mel only looked at the money that day and really disappointed me. And then after that, you know, he fought Munguia, which again I didn't have a problem with Munguia like that. But going the distance with Berlanga was unacceptable. Like there was no reason for that.
See, so some felt he carried Munguia, and I can maybe see that. I'm not saying he did that. I can see maybe him doing that Mexico type of thing. The Berlanga though, he was trying to get Berlanga out of there. He was definitely trying to get Berlanga out of there. And
that's like he was struggling, you know, and like he knocked Berlanga down though. But the fact was he didn't whoop Berlanga's ass enough. Because, you know, Berlanga was, he went on a celebration fucking tour all over Puerto Rico and shit like that. And, you know, and it lasted until this past summer where, you know, where finally someone got some sense someone knocked some sense into him.
And now he's probably a rapper.
Yeah, now he's a rapper right now. And then Canelo he fought Skull in one of the worst fucking fights I've seen. Like it was just a really, really bad weekend. It was part of a really bad weekend of fights. Ugh. If it wasn't for Monster, that might have been like the worst straight like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, cards I would have ever seen. If it wasn't for that Top Rank card getting shit together. Yeah, and that Skull fight, like Canelo couldn't even be bothered to even cut off the ring on dude. Because Skull became the spoil, and Canelo was just like, look here, motherfucker, I'm not going to chase you like that. I'm going to hit you a little bit or whatever, and they're going to give me the decision in your belt. So you better fight. So, you know, we have that bullshit. So it's because of performances like that, and then also too, and I know people are mentioning it in the chat. Yeah, Crawford definitely bulked up. Like Crawford is definitely, you know, people was like, no, he's on PEDs. Oh, he's on that snack.
Yeah, that's funny that they're saying that when Canelo's the one that fucking popped. Like, fuck out of here. That's annoying.
Yeah, no, Canelo. Crawford has never. See, there's a difference. Crawford has never physically has actually shown signs of roiding, whereas Canelo, even before he popped dirty, you know, there was something off about that dude.
Yeah, man. They talk about it was the steak, whatever. But I will say, you mentioned earlier, Pat, about him not fighting, and I think they did that for a reason. I think they wanted to bulk up, take up that whole time. Because if they imagine if they took a fight with Derevchenko or they took a fight with somebody, right? He'd have to cut weight, you know, and all that. I think scientifically speaking, they probably did that for a reason. The whole the way he bulked, because there's the whole thing about the quote unquote catfish of him looking like. You know, the picture 3 days ago, which I felt was like from like 3 months ago, but they're acting like it was a new picture. You know what I'm saying? Where he was looking kind of pudgy. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw that one. No, what like the picture that he posted? That's a dude. Like that dude probably did cut. Like he flexed. Like people have to understand the difference between a gym picture and a relaxed picture.
But I think the picture with the UFC guy is from like from May, and I just there's been waves of like how he's been looking, where like he's looking kind of fat, looking kind of buff, looking really buff, and I think that it's the way they're doing it scientifically. I mean, Bomac, Crawford, them, the whole team, Red, they have a whole science behind it, right? Like that, Crawford's been a world-class fighter for over a decade. So
yeah, Crawford has always been a professional. Like, I mean, this is a dude. This is a guy that used to go, that used to wrap himself up in like towels and shit like that just to make 135. Like, and how he made 135 with his frame is insane. So, yeah, Crawford has always been a professional with his weight. Like, yeah, because usually people have a certain look when you start taking stuff. Canelo has that look. Crawford has not had that look. Like he's looked like just a regular ass dude, like who's just at the top 1% of his physique, for his age. But with that though, he's 37 years old. He's 37. He's 37.
I think he mentioned 38. He turns 38 pretty soon too. Like in
he turns 38 very soon. Yeah. So it's. So I mean, and Crawford hasn't really shown a slippage, because usually there's at least a fight in there, and maybe if he had fought more, if he had taken a fight between this one and the Madrimal fight, we'd probably be able to gauge if he was truly slipping, but we don't know. Like like I said, he's had time, he's had a year, he's had 15 months to kind of get his body into condition. Into the type of condition, because he is going to be fighting. I mean, it's an activity, it's age. He has wear and tear on his body. Like because I think, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't have a little surgery after the Madrimal fight. So there's a lot of different factors. So there's just a lot of question marks with terms of Crawford's conditioning and stuff like that. And then, of course, as you mentioned before, or as Rome mentioned before, he's going up in weight. He's going up 2 divisions. Like, obviously we saw it with Jermell Charlo, and unlike Crawford, Jermell Charlo did not take his conditioning seriously.
He did and Mel did look. Let's be real. Mel had a little tummy. He didn't look really fit, if you noticed.
No,
right?
he did, and he didn't train like he wanted. He wanted, like, because. In that thing, like, they showed him like hanging with his family.
Yeah, he was with his family and shit. Yeah,
bro already got like 50% of his money. He was straight.
He looked round. He looked round in the tummy. You know what I'm saying? Like, fight night. You know what I'm saying? You could see. He looked a little chunky.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Dude. Once dude felt Canelo's power, he's like, okay, look, I'm a good defensive fighter. Yeah, I can fight to a degree where I won't get knocked out. And yeah, that was that.
And I wish P was here, because he wanted to drop some bars on what I said about the lazy comparison of Jermell Charlo and Bud Crawford. Because on the surface level, I get it. They're both Crawford was a big lightweight, but they're obviously 154, moved up 2 weight classes. But I'm never comparing Bud Crawford to a guy. Now, Mel's a Hall of Famer, probably one of the top 10 154 pounders of all time, just first undisputed ever. But he lost to Tony Harrison and should have lost to Castano. He ain't no Terence Crawford. I'm sorry, and respectfully, I'm saying that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But that doesn't denigrate what Mel accomplished at 154. Mel was competitive in like 2 or 3 different eras of 154. Like, he has names on his record. Like, he's like this generation's version of Terry Norris at 154. Like, he's putting in work at that weight, and that's why I say before, like, if people want to say that he's Hall of Fame, I have no problem with that at all, because he's put in a lot of work at that weight to culminate with being an undisputed champion.
No, Mel's a Hall of Famer. I'm just saying, and I think, and I hope I'm right, but I feel like most fans feel that Bud got that dog in him, which could be a bad thing, because if he gets hurt or clipped, he might go all in and get iced. But that's the difference. That's the difference between him and Mel. Mel, once he felt that power and got dropped, he backed off and just danced for the rest. He didn't really try to win the fight. If Bud gets hurt, he's going to try to go for it, probably. That's
and that's the thing with Canelo. Canelo has, and now Canelo, as before, Canelo is not what he used to be. Like, and Canelo is younger than Crawford, but Canelo's been fighting since he was 15 years old. And it's easier to actually gauge his deterioration as a fighter. I mean, first the knockout, like he hasn't stopped anyone since 2022.
He's got like probably 100 more rounds more than Crawford. Like,
100 more rounds than Crawford.
Yeah, like at least 100.
And none of the fights have necessarily have been taxing on him physically, as in, they're he's just losing his ability to finish his opponents within the distance. But Canelo, to his credit, he is a gym rat. He stays in the gym, and usually Canelo will get up for a fight. Like, if he got up for the Mel fight, because had he lost that Mel fight, people would have been questioning his legacy, like big time. So it's like, and so he knows he knows that this fight is important to him. And then of course, you have like the little side controversies. Now you have Boots. I think Boots and his brother were his were one of his sparring partners, and that was a whole big old thing, for a lot of different, boxing Twitter definitely was not feeling Boots being Canelo's partner, even though the Ennis family has had
the Ennis family go back with Canelo years. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They go back with Canelo for a long time, right?
Yeah, the longest time.
And you got Yoni Hernandez in there too, the Cuban 160 with the paws, the big neck.
Yeah, and Rome, I know you're probably watching what the Vikings are doing to the Bears now. Yeah, I'm just side eyeing. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Well, they certainly McCarthy certainly picked the right time to evolve as a NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I gotta eat my word, because I was talking shit. I gotta eat my words. Okay, McCarthy's doing well now. Good play.
Yeah, but I digress. And yeah, so Canelo, I would feel Canelo's gonna try to do what he did with the Mel fight, because basically, Canelo power boxed Mel. Like Canelo made sure that that Mel felt his power, and he's gonna make Crawford feel his. And truthfully, this fight might be. I think for the key to victory for both these guys is defense. Like it has to be defense, because neither of these guys, although Canelo has more of a chin than Crawford. Crawford officially has not been down. Unofficially, he's been down once. Canelo has not been down, although he has been. He was incredibly rocked against Miguel Cotto's little brother all those years ago.
I still feel the Mean Machine knockdown was more of like a trip rabbit punch, but I can see some people think he got rocked.
I mean, it does. I mean, it was because Crawford still says to this day he's the hardest punch he's ever faced, and and Mean Machine.
He's a hard puncher. He's a hard puncher for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, Mean Machine was lighting up Virgil Ortiz too. So like Mean Machine, you can't take him lightly. So Crawford. So Crawford, for more anything like that, he has to avoid getting hit by Canelo. Like, defense has to be the word. And Crawford has a lot of physical advantages. Like, outside of not size per se, but I think he has a longer reach to Canelo. He has good movement. He does. Most people say that Crawford has doesn't
Crawford,
have that.
Honestly, real quick, Crawford got 4-inch reach advantage over Canelo, 2 over Bivol. So he's got a 74-inch reach. I think Canelo's 70. So he definitely has the reach advantage. So I just want to mention that.
Yeah. So with Crawford, obviously with Crawford has to get Canelo's respect early, meaning like he has to hit him with something that's gonna make him hesitant to move in. And obviously the jab is gonna be coming into play. I'm not sure if the switching stances will be of any type of will be a thing for Canelo, because Canelo is not necessarily a person that kind of gets bamboozled by niggas switching stances in fights. It's more like you have to kind of keep him off you. You either have to bully Canelo, or you have to hit him with something that'll make you respect. That'll make him respect. If you don't do either, he's just gonna walk right fuck through you. And I have a feeling that's what he's gonna try to do with Crawford. He's definitely gonna be looking to air Crawford out. So Canelo, and then Crawford has to. So Crawford basically, he has to let that jab go. He has to be able to stick and move, get in and out, and above all, be able to kind of stay on his toes a little bit for 12 rounds. That's of course because we're not expecting him to. If Crawford is bullying Canelo around the ring, then hey. You
Do
know,
you think? Well, that's what I'll ask you, Pat. Do you think? Obviously, the added weight, is Crawford going to be significantly slower? Like, is he going to be able to stick and move? Do you think? Or and another thing I want to ask on top of that, stamina wise, because obviously the gas tank, Canelo usually has the issues. We haven't really seen Crawford tired, right? Like, you don't seem like it at least. Do you think the weight? How much do you think the weight's going to play a role into like his, Crawford's fluidity, speed, and ultimately stamina? Just wondering your opinion.
yeah, I think the stamina will only be. It depends how much pressure Canelo puts him under. If Crawford is able to fight relaxed in some fashion against Canelo, then I can see his stamina really being, it'll hold up even as he's going up 2 divisions. But if Canelo is starting to press him a little bit, then that'll be the question: is like, will Crawford's gas tank hold? And, I mean, to his credit, Crawford has never really gassed out in a fight like that. He hasn't. Not even against Majimov. Majimov was giving him movement like
non-stop feints, like fucking 20 feints per round type shit. He was
and he didn't burn out from that. So, I think that Crawford's stamina will hold. I don't think. I mean, but like I said, it's just more the inactivity. Now, if had Crawford been active, that would be like hell yes. But I'm not. I can't rule out the fact that it could be there could be a situation where Canelo puts him under enough pressure, because Canelo has more than adjusted to 168. Canelo can go 12 rounds, and really the only fights that really taxed his stamina was Triple G, and then going up to 175 with Bivol.
But we have to admit he does look pretty gassed by round 7. Usually for the most, like he's usually pretty. In terms of lesser output and just significantly less active. I feel like in terms of he always had an endurance issue. I wish I was here to shit on him about it, but he definitely has endurance.
The fact is, Canelo's had this issue since he was fighting at 147, 150. Like it's the same thing. It's just like Canelo, for whatever reason, and for a guy that popped dirty for PEDs. Like his stamina has never been where it needs to be, which is amazing. But it's also amazing too. He's never completely gassed out in a fight that cost him a victory. When Floyd, when he fought Floyd. I mean, Floyd. Obviously he schooled him. He had his legs. He had the hand speed. He had the advantage. He had better defense. Canelo fought hard for 12 rounds. He just couldn't trap Floyd for shit. He couldn't do anything with Floyd because he was like a step or 2 behind. And then Bivol is a big 175 pounder, and he happens to be faster than him, had better legs, and was big enough where he was able to bully Canelo into the ropes. That type of deal. But straight up, but it's like I said, it's always like it was 2 different ways that someone has beaten him. So it's just like that's why it's just curious to see like what type of strategy Crawford is going to utilize for something like this. Chris Brand, if Crawford wins, won't happen. But if he somehow stops Canelo, crazy conversations will happen. Well, boxing Twitter will just fucking absolutely explode. If Crawford stops Canelo in this fight, boxing Twitter will just be on fire.
It would never be the same.
It would never be the same, because there are a lot of people for Crawford who have not gone over what Crawford did to Spence.
A lot of people.
There's a lot of people. And some of them are low key wanting to see Crawford beaten. Yeah, Crawford.
Want Crawford to get dropped, stopped, embarrassed.
I was one of them niggas.
Yeah, Rome was one of them niggas.
But I know people who are converted Bud fans after what he did to Spence. There are some people like that admit, I was willing for Arrow, but what he did to Bud. I mean, what Bud did to Arrow, I'm a fan of Bud now, and
and that is also me, nigga. That is also me. Yes.
Yeah, so and then I'm just reading Adam. It's possible Crawford has more power than anyone Canelo's fought. No, Crawford doesn't have power than Triple G. Triple G hits harder than Crawford, like way harder than Crawford. You know, so I'd say too. I mean, Canelo's even mentioned before. Triple G's hit him the hardest, and Triple G, and because if you ever watched their 3 fights, like there are fights there where Triple G laces him something serious. And he ate those.
Skill for skill. You think Crawford's a more skilled fighter than Canelo from top to bottom overall?
I do. Okay. At this, I think I do because Canelo. I'd say the Canelo at 154 and some of the parts at 160. Like Canelo had good defense.
I think he was his best at 160. The second Triple G fight, to me personally.
Yeah, that was a Triple G. Yeah, because it was 160. Like Canelo was, Canelo had the head movement. He was able to kind of slip punches. His footwork was actually a lot cleaner. He wasn't plotting like how he became at 168 and then 175. Like he was a better fighter at he was a better fighter at 160. He was a better fighter at 154. Though I think that was prime Canelo at his his ability wise. Prime Canelo hasn't been Caleb Plant that's the last time you actually saw any parts of what you call prime Canelo. That was the last person that he actually looked good. I mean, he's still the only guy to ever stop Caleb Plant too to this day. So I mean, like I said though, I mean, yeah. But like I said, I'm not knocking Canelo. I'm not knocking Crawford's power because Crawford, for a guy of his size, Crawford is pretty fucking strong. Like if you ever see him in the videos in street clothes, he's out here like deadlifting 450 pounds like it's nobody's business. Crawford, in one underrated advantage that's never really mentioned for Crawford has, he used to wrestle. So and wrestlers are extremely strong. They're strong people. Like that and gymnasts, like they have their core strength is out of this world, and if you have that in your at least your physical bag of tricks, yeah, you could do something. There's a reason why you don't see Crawford ever getting pushed back in any fight like that. Like no one has been able to really push him back, but yeah, though, yeah, that and then. But in Crawford, but I'm not saying that Canelo's not strong. I mean, Canelo, was able to fight at light heavyweight and shit like that, and was not able to be, was not dropped or anything like that. So it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see like who's gonna be like pushing around who in this fight. Miss Bitch, Bud Jesus of boxing, Superman 147. Canelo struggled with Laura, bro. Whoop. Yeah, I mean Canelo. Yeah, obviously we can go through the list of fights where Canelo didn't look good, even in his wins. Like,
but the fact is, he still is a 168 fighter now, and Crawford is, I mean, really, he was a welterweight. So it's like that's right. That's the main thing.
Yeah, and of course there's history. Now, obviously, as I mentioned before, there's history on the side of Crawford. Now, if Crawford wins this fight, he's going to be the first fighter in the 4-1 to actually be undisputed in 3 different divisions, which is an insane feat. And he's probably going to be, as far as I know, he's probably going to be the only lightweight champion that's ever been a super middleweight champion. So I don't think that's because Duran and Barkley was 135 to 160. So yeah, that's facts. You're right.
Yeah.
No, actually, no. Duran was 160. Yeah.
He beat Barkley for the 160 belt.
Yeah. So there's not too many. There's definitely not too many lightweight champions that can say that they were undisputed super middleweight champion. That's literally unheard of. Unless I'm double checking because I think there might be one other fighter.
No, I think the biggest leap would be from Homicide Hank Henry Armstrong, went from featherweight up to.
Oh no, I'm absolutely wrong. Crawford would be the second fighter.
Who was first?
To do this?
Who was first?
Now the first fighter is a South African fighter named Dingen Tobela. You know, and I watched him. Like he held the lightweight title in 1993 and then won the super middleweight title in 2000. You know,
yeah.
Talk about your obscure. I had to double check that fact.
That's hella obscure. Yeah,
he held no belts in between either. He went from lightweight in the early 90s to in the 2000s holding a super middleweight title. That's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's an insane feat to actually do. And he knocked off a reigning champion to do it. So Crawford would be the second, but however, he wasn't undisputed champion. Crawford would be undisputed if he did that. You know, and like I said, and he'd be by far he'd be the number one fighter in the sport today. Like, no, he'd be over Monster and he'd be over Usyk, and there'd really be no arguments about it. And then of course you'd have to obviously talk about where he would stand in terms of all time great status, because that's where he would be. Like, you know, like he'd be like a true generational talent. If Canelo wins, do you think he'll get the type of respect that he'll get for that win, or nah?
There's gonna be a lot of people that won't. You know, if he knocks Canelo, I mean, I hope he doesn't knock Crawford out. I'm going for Crawford's my guy. If he knocks Crawford out, I mean, he should get respect. People are still gonna say he got a guy 2 weight classes who started at lightweight. You know what I mean? So
right.
he'll get respect. But it's funny because a lot of people that are picking Crawford are not going to give respect if Canelo wins.
So. Yeah, I mean, well, what happened is Crawford would probably go down a little bit on the pound for pound ladder, and Canelo would probably go up. Canelo would probably only be maybe behind Monster and Usyk. Usyk for sure. You know, Monster. I mean, I mean, it's subject to argument. But Usyk, he wouldn't be above Usyk, that's for sure. So it's so.
Would Crawford? So, but wait, hold on. Let me ask you: if Crawford wins, because Crawford right now is 1, 2, or 3, maybe 2 or 3, because Usyk's probably number 1. But if Crawford wins, would he leave Usyk?
Yeah, no, he would leave easily. He would definitely leave Usyk. Yeah, like I mean, a guy that's undisputed in 3 divisions. Like like he would absolutely would lap Usyk for sure. That would be enough to me in my eyes.
Some probably won't, but I would. I'd put him above Usyk. Yeah.
And like I said, and if Crawford KOs him, then yeah, he would absolutely be. Like, that wouldn't be no question. So yeah, it's like it's that's what I'm saying. Like it has a lot. It has a lot of history behind it and stuff like that in terms of what will be. But yeah, so Pilot, now you're thinking that Crawford will win by decision or knockout? I mean,
like, I mean, knockouts are very, I'm a Bud stan, I can say, but no, that's a super long shot. I doubt it. It's tough because I don't know if Crawford, like, if he can take the body shots, or he, and his chin can hold up. I do see a path to victory for Crawford. Obviously it's in Vegas. Some of the judges, they got a great ref, Tom Taylor. That big white ref. He's a really great ref.
Yeah.
They got they got Cheatham and the judges. You know how it goes.
Weisfeld, all them, yeah.
Weisfeld, but Canelo in Vegas,
the usual jokers.
The usual. Yeah. But it's really difficult to say because Crawford has a legit chance if he can stick and move and the weight doesn't bother him and he can take and. He does get hit, the thing with Bivol, because I've heard some arguments today. Bivol's a better fighter than Crawford. I'm like, I think Crawford is more versatile and he's better overall. But Bivol is great at what he does in terms of defense. He is. Yeah. But I mean, I think Bud's a better fighter. But I can see what some people, Bivol is great what he does.
He is great. Like, I mean, he has wins over Canelo and better beef.
Yeah, he's only got in history to have 2 undisputed champions on his resume. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty crazy. But with that said, him, like, Bud, Floyd and Usyk. I mean, Floyd and Bivol defensively are savants, right? I mean, they are, they're better than Bud defensively, clearly.
Yeah.
Bud gets hit a pretty decent amount. He rolls with the punches, but he gets hit clean. So that's what is a little concerning. I know he spars. I know he has less the guy who's on the Coleman, we might talk about the Lester Martinez and Steven Nelson as his sparring partners, and I'm sure they give him good work, but it's different, right? It's going to be different,
right? Yeah, it's different. Yeah, absolutely.
In the fucking Allegiant Stadium, and it's going to be a big spotlight. I know Bud has fought in big fights. Canelo has too. Neither guys fought in the fucking football NFL stadium. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But so it's like, I know I'm being long-winded here. I'm gonna say Crawford's gonna win. I'm speaking to existence. I think Crawford will win decision, like 116, 112 type of decision. He might even get dropped, but I think Crawford's gonna win. I think there's something innate with Crawford. You got that Kobe Michael Jordan mentality. I think he won't be denied. I think he'll win a decision. And yeah, I'm saying 116, 112 type of vibe.
Word. And Rome, are you still sticking to your decision of Canelo knocking Crawford out? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even Kobe lost a game or two. Even Jordan lost a game.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Canelo is about to beat the fuck out of Crawford. He's gonna make him look easy. Other niggas gonna want to fight him after this. I promise you.
I mean, that's one thing. People do want to fight Canelo. Canelo's not that type of person where niggas don't want to fight him.
No, I'm saying they're gonna want to chase after Crawford after this. That's
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Because after he gets whooped, they're gonna be like, "Oh, nigga, let me get paid and whoop you too."
Yeah, because
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, because like I said, Crawford has basically, as long as he's aligned with Turkey, Crawford's pretty much, he's getting his retirement package, so to speak. So we had, and then I mean, like I said, I would love to say, hey, Crawford can knock out Canelo, but Canelo has one of the best fucking chins in boxing right now, and maybe even on an all-time basis. It's hard. Like, dude's been hit by light heavyweights and hasn't gone down. He's never gone down in how many fights he's had since he was 15 years old. He's never gone down. So, but but like I said, what makes me think if it was the Canelo from the plant fight, I think that Canelo would at least make it really hot for Crawford though. But I just think though, it might be motivation. I think it's also wear and tear. I just don't see like Canelo's his activity his work rate has gone down, even in the fights where he's actually handing out.
So this, you like the other niggas. Everybody think that Crawford's gonna outwork Canelo and is gonna just pummel this nigga. It's not gonna happen like that.
No, definitely. I'm against that. No, I'm even though
like, I know Bud's work rate is high, nigga, but when you're fighting a bigger fighter, I don't know if all that work rate really works like that.
But even then, I'm gonna say like Canelo. Sorry to cut you off, Pat. In regard to I'm just saying Canelo's been on a downward slope since Plant. Clearly he hasn't been the same fighter since Plant. A lot of tread on the tire, so it's like that's what makes it intriguing. I think Bud has a better chance than some, but no, Bud isn't gonna put hands and feet all over Canelo. I can't see that. But, yeah.
Yeah, no. Let's say if he does, I'll be like, what the fuck, So that's this thing. Like, but I honestly think as long as Crawford kind of gets a jab going, and it can actually, and one thing at least I know Crawford will do that most people don't do with Canelo is go to his body. You rarely see Canelo go to someone. People rarely go to his body like that. Floyd went to Canelo's body because it set up a lot of his counters. Paval pretty much didn't really go to his body like that. Like he basically he was just countering him off the ropes and bullying him onto the ropes and letting 6-punch combinations on his ass, like that type of shit. I just have a feeling that Bomac is probably coming up with a plan to at least try to go to Canelo's body, because if Canelo's go to Canelo's body, his gas tank is going to go a lot quicker than that. And then Canelo is one of those guys because he's a ginger, so he can't hide his exhaustion even as much as he wants to. He'll fight harder, he'll fight dirty, but once he starts getting flushed fucking red, it's like it's over. Yeah, dude be huffing and puffing and shit like that. And I honestly think, and I'm like you, I do think someone's gonna go down, and I'm looking at Crawford because Canelo's power is Canelo does have the power to drop him, but I think Crawford will kind of like lock in and will box him up and will probably win like a 116, 117, 111 type of win. Although the judges will probably make it 115, 114, 115, 113. Because, you know, that's the bullshit that be happening. Because
the plot armor is a quote-unquote plot armor.
Yeah, because Canelo, for some reason, can't lose wide and clean. Like, the Bilal fight, he lost that so fucking wide, it was unbelible. And
they made that 7-5 across the board, right?
113.
They made that 7-5 across the board, right? All across for that fight.
Yeah, that's a whole bullshit. Yeah, that was some old bullshit. And then Floyd, someone actually gave that motherfucker a draw. And I was like, there was no fucking way 6 rounds. You could barely find 1 round to give him in that fight. But judge gave him.
Floyd was hilarious. Floyd was hilarious when he was like draw. I was like, what?
Yeah, you know, but I'm gonna err on someone who I think is, you know, doesn't have as many weaknesses glaring as, you know, other. And Crawford's weaknesses. He has them, but they're not as glaring as Canelo's at this point. So that's why I'm thinking decision too. So for our gambling degenerates, I'm opening it up DraftKings right now. So basically right now, if we look for money line, Canelo is minus 180, Crawford is plus 145. So it's almost getting to that point where it's close. For prop bets, Canelo by KO is plus 380. Canelo by decision is plus 115. The plot armor bet. The draw is plus 1600. Truthfully, I would say if you want to put something on there, if the fight is even like that, I say the draw is not a bad bet to put on this fight. Like, it could be like an emergency bet or something like that, you know. But I honestly, you know, I would actually put something on a draw. Crawford by KO was plus 850. And Crawford by decision is plus 210. So, yeah, I mean, my recommendation is, you know, I'd say, you know, if you want to put money on either decision, or I'd say, and then as long as you back it up with an emergency draw bet, because I do have the feeling, since it is a turkey card in Turkey, in Turkey, Canelo, Crawford and Canelo are both like turkey guys. That I could see, like, if they're that even, it just might be like, you know, draws across the board type of deal, you know. But yeah, no, I'm excited for this fight though. It's because you know, and like I said before, in terms of fights this year, like the magnitude of this fight, it's on Netflix. So Netflix is, no, Netflix and boxing it's been hit or miss on a lot of different ways. Because I mentioned even this before as an argument, Netflix isn't looking to invest in boxing. They'll invest in events, you know, and this is an event that, you know, that they're looking for. So they're not going to be a platform that's like, hey, look, we're going to build up a fighter from the beginning all the way up to, you know, a main event. That's not what we're going to do. They're going to pay for fights that already have some sort of buzz, or that's some sort of like fucking Jake Paulish type of cards, like, you know this shit, like, hey, Crawford is going up 2 divisions to go fight Canelo, that type of deal. But the fact that it's not on pay-per-view, and I think a lot of people have. I mean, if you don't have a Netflix sub, then I don't know what to tell you. So it's like, come on, you know, if you don't have a Netflix sub, then you better go get one if you want to watch this fight, because it's not being offered on any other pay-per-view like cable system platform. Like, why would you want to pay for it when it's like you can just pay a sub and actually get the shit and watch the shit clear, you know? So I mean, that at least that's the good part of this, you know. And this fight, we'll get more to the main undercard too. But yeah, Turkey went pretty much all out, because there's basically the prelims is basically is an addendum to the main card, and then there are 2 cards, one on Wednesday and one on Thursday. that's all part of the whole Crawford Canelo Fight Week events. So Turkey's going all out for this, and we'll touch upon those a little bit later though. But the main undercard. So I know, and then pretty much the best fight on the main undercard is Christian Mbili and Lester Martinez. Like that is that's a quality 168 fight, and Mbili holds a GameStop belt because Canelo's kind of he has the super he has all the super middleweight titles, and he's not necessarily looking to defend them against his mandatories anytime soon, nor are they going to make them, except maybe the IBF, but that's here or there. So Lester Martinez, I mean, if you've watched the Pro Box cards and stuff like that, Pro Box cards, you see Lester Martinez is an exciting fighter. He can punch, he can bang, and everything like that. And he can box too. Dude is. I mean, the only thing that's kind of hindering him, that's held him back, is the fact that he used to get these weird. He cancels fights because of migraines. Although I think recently, they got to the kind of the cause of why that's happening. So, hopefully, you hope you got that shit straightened out. And then you got Christian Mbili, who's been fighting on the top ranked cards in Canada and stuff.
What was the cause of that shit?
It's something. I think it's something like related to his sinuses or some shit like that. So he got surgery on it.
Surgery on his sinuses, and now he's about to box. Nigga, it's asking for a loss.
Well, I mean, and that's what makes this fight intriguing, because they both have power, and Billy has lots of power. But I think Billy lately has kind of shown he's kind of one-dimensional. It's a hell of a one dimension, because dude has just been annihilating his opponents. But there are fights though where he's gone to distance, he hasn't looked all that great or whatever, and he's kind of struggled a little bit, stamina wise. But he's coming off a brutal one round knockout of Selecki, who had never been stopped, and he came probably the closest to anyone of actually stopping Derevyanchenko. In that fight went the distance. So this is pretty much that's what I say. This is a quality 168 fight, because the winner of this fight pretty much I'd say, depending on who wins between Crawford and Canelo. I mean, if Crawford wins, the belts might be released, and one of those guys will probably be upgraded to be champion and stuff like that. So, quality fight. Pilot, how do you think? So, who do you have winning this fight? Oh, Pilot stepped away for a little bit. Okay, Rome. Who do you have winning this fight?
I don't know. I feel like surgery. How long ago was the surgery?
It's been a while ago. It's not recent.
I'm thinking it's like after his last fight, he got the surgery type shit.
Yeah. Well, not after his last fight per se, because his last fight was in March.
Cause I don't know, nigga. You got me convinced after niggas get injured and have to be put back together and shit after the Spence shit. I don't know, nigga. You say these niggas are not indestructible, so I feel like the other nigga got it.
I mean, Spence is different. Spence went through car accidents. I mean, this one is yeah, that's a little different from a migraine. In this particular case, they said he got it under control now. So but he has canceled fights because of it, which is kind of slowed and kind of hindered his, in terms of him actually being more well known. So the fact that he's actually getting a spot like this on the card, is great. He deserves it. But are you sticking with maybe Mbili winning this fight?
Yeah, I got him. Let's say 8th round KO. 8th round KO.
8th round
Stop
KO.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually that's not bad. I mean, I have I have Martinez winning by probably like maybe 11th round KO type of deal.
Late.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, I think he'll stop him Billy late. Because Billy Billy gasses, but he is scrappy though. Dude will stay in the fight. You know, but
if you in the 11th round, nigga, you think he gonna gas it in the 11th and just go down?
Yeah, I mean Martinez can punch. Like he's a puncher too. But I trust Martinez's tank more than I do in Billy's. So yeah, I will. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think I will go with. That's why I'm going with Martinez though. I mean, and Billy. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what's the odds for this shit?
Oh, let's see.
Like, what they think? They think this shit going a distance or what? It sounds like it might go to distance.
So we have. I think. DraftKings only has the money line up. I'll check the other one, but and Billy on this one is a minus 185 favorite. Martinez is plus 145. Let me check FanDuel.
They don't got the KO props and none of that.
No, sometimes they don't have it. They don't have it up for certain fights until like later in the fight week.
Until like right before the fight type shit. Try to get.
Yeah, I'd say maybe at the earliest, probably Wednesday, they might do it. Okay. Let me go check FanDuel. Let's see what they.
Yeah, if mine is 185 favorite, I say the KO is probably plus 250 or some shit for Mbelly.
Let's see. So
Martinez might be plus 500 for the KO.
Oh well, FanDuel has prop bets up. So Mbelly decision is plus 290. And Billy KO is plus 145. A draw is plus 1500. Martinez is plus 260 for decision, and Martinez KO is plus 440.
So yeah, it's. I mean, odds are pretty close, but you can see Billy finna knock this nigga out.
Yeah,
it's a tough call for that fight. Yeah. I like Lester. He's part of the Bomac team with the counter punching, but his output isn't really. He is a selective output, you know what I'm saying? And Billy just work rate's crazy, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of makes it intriguing.
So who do you have winning this fight?
Yeah, what's your pick for that shit then?
Oh yeah, I want Lester Martinez to win, but I think Billy might be too much, to be honest. At this point in their careers, even though they both have beat Gongora pretty handily. I'm gonna say, actually, fuck it. I'm gonna say Lester Martinez is gonna get a knockout on him in round 10. Fuck it. I'm gonna be different. Around 10 knockout, he's gonna catch him.
Yeah, I said,
but it won't be easy. It won't be easy.
Yeah, I said around 11.
Oh, around 11. What'd you pick, Ron?
I picked Mbelly in round 8.
Okay. But this should be the fight. This should be the show stealer, right? This fight should be a good fight. I feel like.
Yeah, no, on the main card, this should be the show stealer of the night. Like I fully expected to, you know. And then also,
is this a co-main or this is a pre?
It's on the main undercard, but it's not the co-main for whatever fucking reason. The next fight is, and I don't understand why it is either. You know. It's basically a prospect fight, you know, against Callum Walsh and Fernando Vargas Jr. And on paper, it's a good fucking fight. I have no problem with that fight at all. But
that's the co-main?
Yeah, they made that the co-main. I have no fucking idea.
They did really? That's interesting. That's crazy.
Yeah,
double check that. That's crazy.
Well, I know Walsh is a part of the low-key part of the whole TKO thing because he was on the UFC Fight Pass and he has kind of the connection with the Irish. I don't know. It's kind of interesting that they made that the co-main. You know,
that's what they're saying. Like that's the co-main. I'm thinking to myself, why would that be the co-main? And Billy Martinez is definitely the co-main type of fight. And not like I don't mind Callum Walsh or Fernando Vargas as a fight because I think it's a good fight because you know one of my things I always say is like we don't get a lot of young prospect fights anymore. Like, because a lot of the promoters like to kind of hide them a little bit, you know, and then only risk if it's like a title shot type of deal. And they stay with these prospect fights like well into like they're almost into their almost getting 30 fucking fights. So a fight like this, and you know, I approve of it because Callum Walsh is a Irish talent, 6 foot, fucking 154 pounder, and you have Fernando Vargas Jr. who punches through the fucking roof. You know, I think more than all his brothers, Fernando Vargas Jr. probably got more of his father's power than any of his brothers. I don't know if you, Pilot, do you agree?
Yeah, no, I still think Amato is the redhead stepchild. Some people think Fernando is the redhead stepchild, but I think he's better than Amato. But
no, Amato, he's the worst of the brothers. He's not.
Yeah, to me he is. But the thing is, we don't know how good Fernando is because he's fighting these bums on Marv Nation Triller. He was stuck on that shit, so it's like we don't know. Walsh is a bit more tested. Walsh has fought more quality fighters for sure.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but like I said, but Vargas is a bigger puncher. There's not Fernando Vargas. He can fight and he can punch. He can. I mean, he's not like his brother. Emiliano is the that's the dude that he has world champion written all over him. You know, but Fernando Vargas isn't that far behind him. And I can see that too because like Callum Walsh is a tough guy. And you know you can't take him. You can't take him lightly at all. So
he's had a couple of fights where it's like he's looked a little iffy, but then again he's fighting better competition. You know, so that's the thing. Like there's a fight where he won kind of wide, but it was really close. And
right.
But then again, that guy is a better fighter than Vargas has ever fought by far. So it's like it's tough to.
Yeah, exactly. So I have no problem with that fight, and I'm gonna rock with Vargas Jr. on this one. Nothing against Callum Walsh. Like, I don't think he's a bum or anything like that. But you know, I just feel like the fact that he has Vargas Senior in his career will be like the will be like because I know Vargas will probably will him to that victory. And King P has joined us. King P, what's going on?
Fuck everything.
What's poppin', P?
Fuck the Bears.
Fuck you, nigga. Fuck the Jets, nigga.
Y'all pissed me the fuck off.
Nigga, I'm pissed myself, nigga.
I lost out. I cashed out early on a fucking bet yesterday. I should have let it ride, pause, and I would have won $1,600 today. But the fucking Ravens and then the fucking Bears.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I want to talk about it.
Yeah,
so Pete,
I'm thinking about next week.
So what's up? What's good, man?
So right now we're just getting down to like the main card on there. So if you want to quickly like give your picks for
give
for the main event for Martinez and Billy, and then for Walsh, Fernando Vargas Jr.
Oh man, Lester's gonna beat the shit out of and Billy.
Oh hell no!
This is gonna be his coming out party. Pause. So yeah. Like 6 round.
Oh,
6 round KO.
Yeah.
He's going against the grain.
So Rome, you're the odd man out in this.
And Billy, I don't think highly of him, Billy. I think if Lester puts it all together tonight, like that night, he's gonna beat the shit out of him, Billy.
Peter thinks he's mid Billy, huh? You think he's kind of mid?
No, he's not very good.
Yeah, like I said, and Billy, as he's increased his competition, has been looking suspect though. Like I said, I mean, even though Derevchenko is a tough guy, that fight should have not went distance. Considering how badly he beat Derevchenko, like that was. I was like,
that's right. Derevchenko had like one hand. I felt like half the fight. I felt like right. He was hurt. You could tell he was clearly hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
But then again. Lester Martinez is not even fought a Derevchenko type of guy, you know what I'm saying? I know they have Gongora as a common opponent, and Billy's more active in terms of work rate and also fighting more, you know, often it feels like. So, because remember he had that fake, you know, Martinez had that fucking fake migraines to get this fight. You know, he keeps pulling out of fights and shit.
Yeah. But Pete, what about Crawford and Canelo?
I got Canelo, unfortunately. I just listen. I think highly of Crawford, but going up 2 weight classes in your first fight at 168 against the best guy at 168, even a decline version. Yeah, very few people have done that. So I'm sorry, I just can't. I can't go with Crawford in this one. So, and I don't even know if he'll last. Honestly, pause. It might be a late stoppage.
Oh wow! Rome's had pretty much had similar thoughts too, so you're not alone in that.
Because it's I know, you know, Bud is a great fighter, and if they were the same size, absolutely. But he's never fought at that weight. We don't know what he'll take punches like. There's just too many unknowns for me to go with Crawford. So, if for a guy that only had one fight at 158 and now is moving right to up 2 more weight classes, yeah, that type of shit does not happen. We already saw what happened with Charlo, and yeah, and I know Crawford's a better fighter than Charlo, but it's just the idea of the weight. Like Charlo could not hurt Canelo at all. And every shot Canelo hit Charlo with, he felt it, and he made a business decision. Crawford's not going to make that business decision. He going to fight all the way through, and that's what might cause him to get knocked out, to get stopped. So, yeah.
Weight affects everybody differently. Some niggas can work with it, some niggas can't. You don't know what Crawford can do with it.
Plus, I'm seeing those pics, and he looks kind of soft in the middle. Pause.
That's crazy.
Honestly, we're gonna have to wait until. We're gonna have to wait till they do their public workouts. I think it's on Thursday or whatever, just to kind of gauge where they are. And of course,
you say he looking fat, King P. Nigga looking
not really fat. No, it's not fat. It's just kind of like, I don't know,
soft and
like
squishy type shit.
Yeah,
he looks squishy. He don't look like he could beat a nigga up.
I don't think he looks fat at all. Like, it depends on what picture.
I don't think he looks fat. Like I said, fat's not the right term.
He says squishy, nigga.
Yeah, Crawford looked like he actually put on some size, but he doesn't.
Now that might be, but to be fair, that might be a late. Like the picture that I saw might be like a old picture. So I'll wait till the.
I'm going by the picture that Crawford himself posted.
Yeah, wait till the weigh-in. Wait till the weigh-in.
Like the one where Crawford is flexing in the mirror, that's the picture that I'm going by. And although people are doctoring it and trying to make it look like motherfucker's Incredible Hulk and shit like that, and making this motherfucker look like he should be a fucking linebacker or some shit, which is not, like. But the picture I saw, I was like, that dude has like a fucking 8-pack and everything. Like, okay, well, like I said, we'll have to probably wait until either maybe the public workouts or for sure the weigh-in to see what he really looks like, But I mean, but even in his clothes, like he's not fat. He doesn't look fat at all.
Yeah, no, he's not fat.
Yeah, no, because there are motherfuckers that have gone up to 168 from a lower weight, and like I remember being very disappointed that Triple G went up to 168 and looked fleshy, like which is not how he usually looks. And I was like, God damn, like he don't look like he's in shape at all. Not at least not in his usual shape. So, but I mean, we'll see how that goes. MP, what about Fernando Vargas Jr. and Callum Walsh?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute.
Okay.
That's a mid-off. The fuck? Ugh.
You think so?
I mean, it isn't, but it is. Like that. I don't know. I don't think highly of that Vargas. But I'll go with Vargas.
I mean, because I know me and Pilot just talked about. I mean, Amado's the one we don't think highly of. Fernando Vargas can punch.
I don't think he could punch, but like as a rounded fighter, I don't know about him. To be honest with you, I've been biased. Emiliano's the one that I like the most.
Yeah, no, Emiliano is the chosen one. Like he dude, if it should be, he should be fighting like a top 5 person in the division soon. But how Top Rank likes to operate. So
I'm gonna go with Vargas though. I think I'll vote with Vargas by KO.
Yeah, and like Pilot mentioned that Walsh has fought better competition, but Walsh is
but Walsh another guy I don't think very highly of.
Right, he's cool, but yeah, he hasn't, but he's not otherworldly talented.
He's fought better competition, but he hasn't looked all that great doing it. So.
Yeah, if I remember, his last fight was like a technical decision or some shit like that because of a cut. But he was winning the fight. It was just unfortunate that it ended that way. But I'm a fan of, because we don't get a lot of young prospect fights. They don't happen as much for various reasons, political reasons and stuff like that. So I'm actually looking forward to it. Like, now, obviously, if those two young guys get on this car and they start fighting all mid and shit, like, then, I'm gonna be upset. I'm like, get these motherfuckers off. Like, get them out of here. Like, get this off this bullshit. Get them off my TV. But I know some of the I guess, like, feedback from the main card is like it should have like at least one more high-powered fight on it. But unfortunately, this is a Turkey card, so Turkey likes to actually get other Arab boxers on there. So he has one of his Arab boxers as an opener on there, and he's been on multiple of these Turkey cards, and he has not made one single good impression on me, like, at all. Like, he should, he shouldn't be on there, but since Turkey's kind of financing the whole thing, he kind of puts whatever fighters he wants on the main cards, which is the one thing I don't like. I mean, that's one of my few things I just like. Like, he needs to stop that shit. No one really wants to see him on TV. Like, he needs to let him. They need to develop off TV. They need to be dark matches and shit like that. Because especially since he put together a 5-fight prelim, which is insane, and the prelim has the better fights on it, particularly one which is a rematch with Sergey Bohacek and Brandon Adams. The first fight was on that old program that was on NBC Sports Network, which no longer exists.
That was a firefight. Yeah,
it was a firefight, and then Bohacek got brutally knocked out. Like, he was winning the fight, but he got brutally knocked out by Adams. But the funny thing is, too, Bohacek went on to kind of rebuild, and and obviously he gave Virgil Ortiz probably the closest fight he's had to date. And Brandon Adams pretty much kind of...
He didn't fight for 2 years after, like, literally 2 years.
3 years.
Like, literally 2 years. It took him like 2 years to fight again after that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then when he did fight back, he signed up with OTX. And he's looked good on that one, although his last fight, I think he got robbed in that one. I know you probably saw that fight
against that guy Katz. Against that guy Katz, right? The guy Katz. He fought Katz or something.
Yeah.
Either way, Bohacek is getting his get back to this weekend. So,
you think so?
Yes.
And funny thing is, because Bohacek was winning that fight though, but. Yeah, Bohacek though, because Brandon Adams, he can crack. That's the thing. Like, it's not like Brandon Adams can't fight. Brandon Adams can fight his ass off.
No, he can fight.
This fight should be the opener. I feel like this should be on the main card for sure. Like, the Turkey should. Yeah.
No, for sure it should be. So that's why it's just crazy that he's putting this fight on the prelim. It doesn't matter anyway because it's not like it's not pay-per-view. So. It's just adding on to everything. But Pete, what were you saying before? I'm sorry, we cut you off.
About what?
No, I thought you were saying something extra about Bohacek and
no, I just think I think Bohacek right now is better than he was when he fought Adams the first time. So
yeah, and I would agree with you. Yes, he's definitely improved in different ways though. But his defense though ain't really hasn't improved that much. But he's just tougher too. But I'm just looking at the odds now. So Bohacek
he didn't look good against some of the. So I watched the Macau Fox fight where everybody thought he was gonna knock Macau Fox out, and he didn't. So and he blew weight by like 8 pounds. So you never know.
So yeah, I'm just looking at the odds right now. So Bohacek is a -600 favorite. Adams is +370. Method of victory: Bohacek for by decision is +150. Bohacek KO is +110. Draw is +1500. Adams decision is +750. Adams KO is +650. Nigga, I am definitely putting Adams KO all day, every day. He's gonna catch him again. I just feel it. That's just one of those ones where I see that I'm like, yeah, I have to put money on Adams KOing him again, like because that shit was too crazy. But is anyone else going for Bohacek on this fight?
I'm not with you, Pat. I think I like Boatrick is a pretty solid 154 contender, top 5-ish. But maybe Adams got his number. I think Adams will win again. Maybe get robbed on the cards.
Yeah, if it goes a distance, I think Bohacic will absolutely probably get it on the cards. They'll find a way. But I honestly think Adams will end it in the distance this time. Rome, what about you? He must have stepped away. But yeah, though. But like I said, yeah, this should be on the main card. Like I said, but this is what Turkey's like. Okay, it's not pay per view. You're not enticing people to actually watch this. You can actually make a fire main card, and you can put people that you want to shed light to on the prelim part. And then they have another fight on there that's actually pretty good too, with Ivan DeCecco and Jermaine Franklin. That's actually a great heavyweight fight. Like heavyweights, the heavyweight division, like I said, there's not. It's got to the point where you can't make a bad fight out of that division anymore. Because all the heavyweights now, they're like, Turkey has kind of got them where it got that division in order. So, and basically now, if you put like a potential top 15 heavyweight fight, odds are so it's going to entertain. I mean, the only thing that's probably stopping this from actually being like a whole renaissance is the fact that there's not a lot of American talent at heavyweight, but that's a whole different conversation. But Ivan DeCecco, though, dude is a talent, 15-0, 14 KOs. He's been around for a minute. Dude has pro wins over fucking Mo Harris and Ray Austin and shit like that. But I don't know why his career's gone so slowly. But he's 35 now. He's getting to the point where it's now or never. And then you have Jermaine Franklin, who gave hell to Dillian White and should have won that fight, but got robbed. And then he gave Anthony Joshua a pretty damn good fight too. Those are his only 2 losses. So I look forward to this because Jermaine Franklin is the rare American heavyweight, and not a lot of American heavyweights have a lot of motion. So he's definitely for him getting this spot is actually pretty good.
He's all we got, nigga.
Well, I wouldn't say that right now. I mean, Jared Anderson is still lurking around, but yeah. and then the cat on Golden Boy, but he's just starting out. Jermaine Franklin is actually fought world class competition and hasn't been KO'd. So, if he beat Dicheco, who's Ivan Dicheco is 6'9", so if he beats him, that would be a huge that would be a huge win for him, and he'll probably get catapulted into a top 10 ranking easy. But yeah, that's a really great fight on the prelims too. Any of those fights could have been on the main card, so I don't understand that either. And then of course, Steven Nelson, just on the strength of actually being Crawford's boy, he has a spot on the prelim card. And then Marco Verde, he's facing Sona Khaled, the one that actually beat Nico Ali. So those are all decent. Those are all decent fights on prelims. They actually kind of flow and everything like that. So
this is the for Verde. Was he a silver medalist or it might have been bronze? I know he medaled, I think.
I think he's a silver medalist. Yeah.
I wonder if he's at welterweight or 154. I know he fought at 147. It was interesting. He's an intriguing prospect. Mexican welterweight, big.
Yeah, he's fought 154. He's fought at middleweight. So who he's fighting? Like I said, he's a tough. He's a tough guy to actually fight in his third fight. So, I'm not even mad at him. Like I said, he's known for beating. He's known for beating Nico Ali. He took his 0. So, that's the right type of opponent in case you're trying to accelerate. You try to accelerate him into either a 154 title shot or a middleweight title shot. But yeah, that's gonna be a long fucking day of boxing. Long day. Cause I forgot. I don't even know what time. Do you know what time the prelims start?
I think was it 3? if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 in my time. So maybe 5 y'all time, 4 or 5 y'all time.
Wow.
I don't know if you're gonna mention it, but also there's a welterweight title fight as well, which is kind of crazy. That's like early in the day, the IBF title. That's kind of crazy too. The vacant title. Like damn, so much boxing.